Well, this is an area I used to put a sheet, transparency up there, and it was a little much. People were tilting their head trying to figure out that, and so I'm going to try to explain it today, and I want to explain when I get there why it's so doggone important that we understand this. But first, we're going to do a little bit of review from last week. We finished chapter 2 of 1 John, verses 22 primarily to verse 28. Again, all I put on verse 29 last week with what you see underneath it on the review. This verse is a precursor of the next chapter. I'll leave the discussion of this verse to the discussion of the passage in chapter 3 that it refers to. That's all I said on verse 29 because it doesn't really fit the narrative of chapter 2 as well as it does the narrative of chapter 3. And that's why, remember, there were no chapter divisions or verses. These were letters when they were written. Translators put in all the verses in chapter divisions to help us find a way around the Bible better. But in this one, some of the commentators said they got the division in the wrong place. It should have been verse 1 of chapter 3. It would have fit better as verse 4 in chapter 3 myself, but you can't fit that in. Yeah. So anyway, that's why I didn't get into it last week. By the way, next week is Lynn Agee night, Bible discussion and hymn night. All right, in review, last week the lesson was entitled Liar, and we've had one-word titles for all these lessons until tonight. Tonight I could not resist putting 2 words in the title because it's the 2 words we want to spend time on. Doeth, committeth. Doeth, committeth. You'll see that in the title. And then I hope to go back to one-word titles as long as I can find one word to describe the message. But last week the one word was liar, and it's from the very first verse in that lesson, chapter 22 of chapter 2. Who is a liar but he that denieth that Jesus is Christ? He is Antichrist that denieth the Father and the Son. And that's such an important verse. John said, anyone who gets it wrong about Jesus has got it wrong. If you don't understand the relationship of Father and Son, you got it wrong. And the people who are teaching you that are lying to you. So that's what he talked about. And in verse 23 in the easy to read version, whoever does not believe in the Son does not have the Father. But whoever accepts the Son has the Father too. They talk Father, Son, Father, Son, Father, Son. All right? And again, I shared with you last week, you read the epistles, they're all about Jesus. Because the Bible, in one of the epistles, said it pleases the Father that the preeminence would be in the Son. Until Jesus puts the final enemy underfoot in 1 Corinthians 15, which is death. The